Welcome, everybody, to an early edition of False Nine. As we all know, our Florida Panthers play at 8 o'clock, and we wanted to make sure that we got all the Inter Miami news before the start of that game. Shout out to the Florida Panthers and the Cats. How you doing, Mark?
I'm ready. I'm waiting for that game anxiously. So let's get to Inter Miami. Let's talk some footy. Let's get into it.
All right. So last time we spoke, we had the game against Vancouver. News broke during the show thanks to Skrilla. Was it?
Yep.
That broke the news that no Messi, no Suarez, no Busquets in Vancouver. We also had the Atlanta United coming down for a midweek game, which
Yep.
I'll be honest, I missed from all those times we were playing twice a week. I mean, I had soccer withdrawals. Um, but first, just your thought on the news breaking and the whole situation with Vancouver and the tickets and the
I
yeah.
mean, man, Inter Miami doesn't owe anyone an apology. This is just U.S. sports being U.S. sports. Um, Vancouver should be marketing their team, not Miami's team, not Miami superstars. You want to come out and support your team, who was second in the West, first in the West, for a good first 5 weeks. You support them. Don't come out and blame Miami for Messi and Busquets and Suarez not traveling. No, no. You support your team. Yes, I get that Messi and Suarez are the big names and everyone wants to see them, but be a fan of your team first.
I couldn't have said any better myself. We suffered at least I know we suffered through the Carranza, Higuain. You know
Pizarro, Pellegrini, those yeah. We've been through some teams.
that what was it that the pandemic season with
Juan Agudelo,
Andres Reyes, who
Andres
turned out to be
Reyes,
a decent player.
Christian Macun, Blaise
Yeah.
Matuidi. I mean, look, we've been Inter fans for since inception. So we've had the bad teams, we've had now the good teams. So I'm always a fan of Inter first and Liverpool. Those are my two football teams. So I support those before I support a superstar or a single player.
Well, I'll support. I love Inter Miami. That's my team. And then
Well,
whoever.
when I say support a single player is before I like Vancouver gets mad at Miami for not saying Messi's not. No, I want to see my team.
Well, hold on because you're gonna hate me for the next statement. So give me a second here. I Inter Miami fan. Whoever I root for, whoever's playing against Real Madrid, and whatever team Pulisic is on, I'm gonna root. So
Well,
there you go.
I like to follow. I like to follow the U.S. men's guys. So
Yeah, you.
I follow them individually. I don't really follow like if the Champions League is on and AC Milan is playing, I'll catch Yunus Musa and Pulisic. If Timothy Weah and Juventus and Weston McKennie are playing, I'll do that. But I don't religiously follow Juventus specifically for.
No,
I
no,
just
no,
like
no,
to
no.
follow.
Not like that. But yes,
No,
you
you know,
support
yeah,
the guys are on.
yeah. But
So
let's dive into Vancouver.
yes, Vancouver. Um, we have our group chat. Um, the question was asked, what are we going to do without Messi, Suarez, and Busquets? My answer was the old guard needs to represent. What were your
Very,
thoughts on
very true. Taylor and Campana, two guys that have proven to step up in times that there's an absence to a player. Um, and these are two very good MLS, very good players in their own right. Campana, good striker, and Taylor's got very good abilities as a winger. So I was fairly confident in them leading us up top, to be honest, without Messi and Suarez up there.
that? And what is your favorite tweet? Um, was it tweet or a comment? I think Taylor Twellman said it, right? Or
Oh, that Campana would be a starter for 28 other teams in the MLS, maybe give or take the number there, but what we're saying is that a lot of teams would covet him as a number 9
and
because he's a very good player in my eyes.
yeah, it's not like we're running out there. Oh my God, is it Sunderland, and for that
Borgelin.
small window, Borgelin, Sunderland, all these
Yeah,
guys that
yeah.
you're like, who are they?
Like, remember what I had said that these guys that were getting minutes early in the season would be 25th, 26th on the roster in the first team. Now look where they're at now, buried at the bottom. And a guy, Noah Allen. When was the last time Noah Allen played?
When was the last time? Has Noah Allen been on the bench in
He
recent
he
games?
he was been on the bench and he came on as a sub. I can't remember what game it was now, but he came on as a sub.
Okay. Yeah,
I think it was,
I was about to put Noah Allen's picture on a milk cart.
but it just goes to show the depth of this team when you get guys back healthy.
We also saw the return of
Redondo,
yes, that game. Yes.
we did.
So no Messi, no Suarez, no Busquets. Campana and Taylor in the top three. A young buck gets a start in Yannick Bright. Uh, what'd you see from Yannick in that?
I
In
mean,
that?
he is all things that Miami need in that midfield as a holding DM. I mean, man, he's got some talent to him. He's young. He's still growing. His potential is enormous. Um, he does the dirty work. He puts out fires. He can make tackles, interceptions. I think he was 3 for 3 in aerial duels that he won in the midfield. I went back and looked at some stats. Um, I think he had almost 9 interceptions or something like that. So he was playing out of his mind in that middle and letting Kremasky and Grussel really advance a little higher up the pitch to try to make up for the loss of Messi and Suarez in the attack.
Listen, I think he had a good game, but
Hmm.
early on in that Vancouver game,
Hmm.
I saw a lot of oh my god, oh my god, oh my god from him.
Okay.
He
And
missed
I know what you're
he
saying.
missed a few tackles, and
I,
I saw, and I'm like, damn it, like he put
I
himself in bad
no,
situations at the beginning of the game.
yeah, I know. Yeah, I agree. But as the game went on, I think
Yes,
his biggest thing is when he receives the ball or when he gets the ball, playing it quickly, like one touch and go,
he's a
instead of
bit
trying to,
slow in terms
yeah,
of
on the
process.
ball, processing what's around him. So once he gets better at scanning who's around him, taking a step in, taking a step back, playing it quickly and stuff like that, I think he'll be a tremendous player for us. But I even at this stage of his game, I think he'll be a very important player for us in the in this window now without Messi.
No, and I think that training with guys like Busquets, training with guys like Messi. I mean, if you have
Training
to
with
defend Messi
yeah.
all training long, you're going to get better.
No, I agree. I agree. So the future is only bright for him. No pun intended, pun intended. But I love the kid. So I'm excited to see how his career takes off.
Likewise, likewise, likewise. So Bright starts, in place of Busquets. Um, Game kicks off. Someone said that I, I forgot who on the broadcast said that there was almost like rivals. There was that kind of atmosphere because of how much marketing
Yeah.
Vancouver had done for the message. So
Yeah.
there was a
You
great
heard it. You heard it. It was booze everywhere every time Miami touched the ball. People were upset every time Jordi Alba touched the ball. Booze, and so the atmosphere was great.
awesome.
I mean, aside from being an artificial turf and in a dome, I mean, the atmosphere was great. I hate artificial turf. I hate domes.
It, it didn't look like a bad stadium, but if
No, no, but just for me, I just don't like. I like the open, like Drive Pink's, like Chase Stadium as it is now.
it could have used
I
like an
love it,
open roof. Yes,
and yeah, yeah, open air. I love that. I mean, I just love it.
okay. So what'd you see at the beginning of the game with?
We had two. We had a chance there with Campana early that the ball came. he got a ball in and he headed it back across the frame of goal, and the goalie made a good save. So from Miami, I thought we were attacking, with purpose early, not just trying to hold possession. Trying to get a goal lead on these guys, knowing that they, hadn't won a game in 5 games. They were gonna try it out and see us out, see how we play without Messi. So us going for it quickly, shows that we were in the game from the beginning. It wasn't we were trying to feel the game out. Jordi Alba was making those runs that he makes. Matias Rojas was picking up passes, although he had a subpar game. Um, but we wanted to play. We played to the game plan that Vancouver made us play, which was out wide. They didn't let us get really anything to the middle, and that's where Taylor and Alba really hurt them.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that they did a really good job. What's the theme that we've always talked about all season long? They did a good job clogging the middle,
Yeah, I mean
forcing
it.
us
It
to play out wide.
yeah, I mean teams are gonna. We'll discuss the yesterday's game later, but teams tend to clog the middle against us and play wide. Um, and I think we're gonna have to adapt to that. And I think we're getting better and better. Or I think that Vancouver game we got really good at doing that. If we're gonna get clogged up in the middle.
Right. No, and Vancouver did a good job for about close to 40 minutes. Um, in the 38th minute, Jordi Alba plays
Yeah,
fucking
play the ball in behind to Taylor.
spectacular.
Yeah,
And Robert Taylor just said, "Don't mind if I do this by myself."
I mean he invited the defender to dance. They tangoed, and Robert Taylor said, "Let me slot it second post past the keeper." The keeper didn't touch it. Side netting, beautiful finish. Something that we see Taylor do again and again, little step overs, makes a defender commit, one touch on the outside of his right foot, and then bangs it across the goal. Um, I mean, to say I'm surprised, I am not at all surprised by the way Taylor has played, or played in that game. We knew what he's capable of. Vancouver fans might be surprised on who the heck is this Finnish dude who is, was playing for Inter
He's not a
Miami,
big
who's
name. He's not a big name outside of Inter Miami circle.
he he's getting a big name outside of the Inter Miami circle with those who follow the MLS, but I don't know how much Vancouver follows Miami being all the way up there and stuff like that. Um,
Probably as much as we follow Vancouver.
yeah, I know. Really not a lot. So, but I did my little research on Vancouver and stuff like that before the game to see what they were about. But Taylor really took that goal upon himself and did it himself, with a great assist by Jordi Alba, and that's what you need on this team now, that guys to step up and when the big guys are missing, and he did that.
No, 100% agree. Um, but something else I noticed in the first half,
What's up?
and we'll continue
But
talking.
before I want to get to that goal, it should be noted that Vancouver did a better job of settling into the game and finding their footing, and they were able to try to catch us on encounters and stuff. And Fafa Peak cult started to become a menace to
Okay,
society.
that's what I was going to bring up now.
That man, I
Because
mean,
listen, listen, he should be somewhere in in uh in the Spanish league because
somewhere that's not in the MLS.
that man pitches for stupid shit so much. He's bald, big guy, walking around. You breathe on him, and he's throwing himself on the floor, begging for
Yeah,
a foul.
I don't like that. Um, he's foul baiting, whatever you want to call it. If some were foul, some were not. But just his game in general, just him as a soccer player. Forget about the extra diving and the antics and stuff. He has caused problems for this Inter Miami team for the past 3 seasons. There was one season he was with Houston Dynamo. I think we were up 1-0. He came on and scored 2 goals, and they won the game at home. So he's caused a problem for this Inter Miami team in the
He
past.
was last season. He was on Nashville, right?
I want to say he was on Nashville last year.
Yeah, and he was a menace for
No,
them.
he's been a menace to society for us for as long as. But I do have to give credit that Inter Miami did not fold in that first half when they could have allowed a goal to him or something like that. I mean, Sergei Kristov played a fantastic first half and eventually played a fantastic game. I thought he had one of his strongest games as an Inter Miami player against Vancouver.
Yeah, no, and for a change, we go into the half winning 1-0. For a change,
Yeah, we're
we
not losing
score
or
the
we're not
first,
tied.
we score the
So,
first goal for a change.
hmm
Um, Up 1-0 into the first half.
hmm
We're feeling good. Um, what was the story of the second half?
I think it's more of the same for Inter Miami, really. Trying to limit the counters that Vancouver would try to possess, try to play. They play that 3-4-3 or three, yeah, three
Yeah.
four three. With the wide mids. And I thought again they tried that they're really getting nothing on the right side because of how Kristoff played and how he shut down that right mid. Whoever that I can't remember who it was now or that right winger could have been White or Gold. Like I don't remember who it was, but Kristoff did a fantastic job. So they were forced to play through the middle and through the left side. I mean, they had success through the left side with Fafa going at Avilas and trying to ruffle his feathers. Avilas is a young 19-year-old, still doesn't have the level headedness that a veteran uh, center back would. But at the same time, remember, he's 19. He's being asked to play every game, every minute for the best team in the MLS. He's gotta be smarter, and that comes with that tackle he made.
We'll we'll
That
get
he,
we'll get
so
to
yeah,
the area of the game.
but
Uh,
Inter Miami kept going for it.
yeah, no, and there was for a while there. It was a lot of transition balls.
hmm
They transitioned a few times. We
Yeah.
transitioned a few times.
hmm
It was almost like watching the if you watch the NBA back in the day, watching the Phoenix Suns 7 seconds
Oh,
or less,
14 seconds, 17 seconds or less
7 seconds or
basketball?
less.
7
Yeah,
seconds or left? Or
I
yeah,
mean,
that's what I meant to say 17 seconds left on the shot clock.
yeah, and then against the Warriors when they were running up and down the court. That's kind of what it looked like. Just transition after transition after transition. We'd get caught, they'd get caught. We'd get caught, they'd get caught. Um, and in one of those transitions, uh, Campana plays Taylor.
Yeah, Campana picked up the ball, made a defender make a decision. He played Taylor. Taylor took on the defender again, step over to the byline, cut it back with his left foot. Campana receives it on his right one time and slots it to the right of the keeper, and we're up 2-0. It just shows the chemistry between those two and how special or how much they've grown in the last 2 3 years with Inter Miami, and it gives a sense of uh, it alleviates a little bit of the pressure from guys like Rojas or guys like Suarez at times, and alleviates pressure on Tata who's comfortable enough to play those guys big minutes in games now without Messi. They're gonna be doing this.
Yeah, play them and expect production, which is
Yeah,
important.
yeah.
I think Taylor. I mean, Taylor really made the defender stay with him. Once he cut it back, Campana was
Yeah.
right place, right time. Just, I mean, he had tons of space. He just
All he did was stick his foot out and just slots it home, and we're up 2-0.
hell of a goal, hell of a goal, hell of a goal.
Mhm. And hell
Um,
of a mentality from that team, just to take it to a Vancouver team at home, especially who was riled up and stuff like that. So it speaks a lot about who they were on the road that game specifically.
yeah, and now back to the point you were speaking about with Aviles.
Mhm.
Aviles had a reckless tackle on. If you're looking at the game, it was on the
Going
far
left
side.
to right, far side, going left to right.
Yes,
Vancouver was attacking left to right.
yes, and it was a tackle on the far side, edge of
Yeah.
the box,
Mhm.
reckless tackle.
He didn't have to make it.
No, and
You
then
just stand at that point. Like I said, it's the level-headedness. It's knowing where you're at in the game. Knowing that you just have to stand that guy up and delay a bit, even if it's a soft foul, you do that. But don't go in recklessly where it could, depending on the ref and stuff like that, you're gonna get a yellow, and then your next small tackle is gonna be another yellow. So he needs to just, you know, ease up a bit. I don't mind his aggressiveness. I just want it to be controlled.
Correct.
Is
He needs
what
to learn how to
is
read the
what we
game.
want. Yeah, read the game, and then you know a couple minutes later, it gets to him again. Fafa starts to ruffle his feathers.
Yes,
And I understand. We spoke about it in the chat. I know what you
yes,
were gonna say, but
yes,
it was gonna be called a penalty because of the tackle he had just made.
yes. Okay, so there's a few factors here. Fafa was going to dive into the third row and knock over a popcorn vendor, no matter what. That's first and foremost. Um, there was a cross coming in that was blocked.
Hmm.
If that cross isn't blocked,
Hmm.
Picot is going to go try to find that ball. Aviles is trying to cut him off.
Hmm.
Instead of cutting him off with his body, he uses the shoulder.
Hmm.
Technically, it's legal,
But
but because the
they,
cross got
yeah,
cut off, you have that. And then
unfortunate.
the
I mean,
sniper that shot a 50 caliber through his chest for him to just dive on the floor like his chest had exploded also didn't help.
no, but it is what it is. They were gonna. I felt once I saw it, I was like, I knew they were gonna call it. I just didn't know if it was gonna be another yellow card, and it wasn't, luckily, and it did not cost us the game. Yes, I mean, Chandler dove the right way, I believe, on
Yeah,
the
he
penalty.
was just a little late.
He's just a little a step behind, but sucks that we didn't get a clean sheet there. But
3 points.
3 points on the road without Messi, Suarez, and Busquets, I'll take that any day of the week, twice on Sundays.
No, 100%. Um,
So, I mean, good road victory there.
yeah, and we end up feeling really good about ourselves.
Hmm.
Coming back home, news comes out that Messi will be playing on that Wednesday game. Atlanta United comes into town. Um, very stormy few days in Miami. Some feared that there were a lot of storms around. Some feared that it might be a game where you get a lot of delays due to
Hmm.
lightning because there's a bunch
Hmm.
of thunderstorms around. Um, some feared rain.
Hmm.
Everyone started. Um, Redondo back in the lineup. Tell me what you saw at the beginning of that game.
We had two golden opportunities to start the game. One by Alba after Messi played him in behind and he couldn't control the ball. Well, first it was Alba finding Messi in the middle of the box, and Messi kind of had a header diving to the ground. It went off the ground and just slightly over the post, the crossbar, sorry. And then the other
Yes,
one was Alba receiving a ball from Messi in the box, but he just couldn't bring it down. If he brings it down, Suarez is in for a tap in. So those were two golden opportunities, and then from there, the game really, really opened up in Atlanta's favor.
and
They
okay. On the Twitterverse,
Mhm.
all everyone said was our defense blows, our center backs are trash.
Mhm.
Dump them both. We need to go get help.
Mhm.
Although I agree that Christoph isn't a long-term seasonal answer, um, I'm with you on the fact that the game was not lost there.
There's a lot of people who specifically I want to shout out to Scotty Grays. He was one that was it felt like he was replying to 30,000 people saying it was a center back, and his reply was this game was lost in the midfield, and I couldn't agree. I mean, I agree 100% with that. We had some Twitter or X uh, banter going back and forth on that. But yeah, man, that three in the midfield do not work together, specifically because Busquets is pushed so far up, that Hernando's so far up, and that Grasso's so far up at the same time. Who's back and who's defending the middle? Who's no one. It's That's why you need that's why a Yannick Bright yesterday, if he was available, I think he would have played. But not being available really hurt us. And Thiago Almada and their number 8, I can't remember his name, who were
Saba,
absolutely who? No,
Saba.
that's their number 9. He was their winger. Their number 8 was a little midfielder, had like a dread ponytail. I can't remember his name now. He was having a absolute they were having a field day, a picnic in the middle there. They were enjoying life. And this is from an Atlanta team that was winless in their last 9 games. They came out and they said, "Okay, you're going to leave the middle open. We are going to expose you." And that's exactly what they did.
Did Jamal Tyre?
Nope, that's 29, not him.
You mean the number 8?
The number 8.
Oh, Nikita. Tristan Muyumba Nikita is his name.
Muyumba. Yeah,
Yes,
him, that guy. Menace. Menace, him and Thiago Silva said, I mean, Thiago Almada said, "Okay, we're gonna link up in the middle and you're not gonna stop us." And Thiago Almada looked like a man possessed. The guy hadn't looked like that all season. Yesterday, don't know what, I mean, for sure it was the fact that they were playing here. They were desperate for a win, and boy, my God, did they put on a show for their fans.
playing in front of his teammate.
Yeah, playing in front of his idol. Forget the teammate, his idol. I mean, credit to Atlanta, man. We rolled over big time. Um, those midfield three do not start together on Saturday. I, I don't know what I may see gray hair on my head before I see Gressel come off as a starter.
Do you think
Um,
that goes back to a 4-4-2?
no, we start a 4-3. We always the 4-4-2 is an in-game formation that we drop into defensively. That's the only time. The only two guys that are not pressing as much or coming back defensively are Messi and Suarez. Everyone else, there's 8 behind the ball.
No, I understand, but what I'm saying is
No. To start the
4-4-2.
game, no. I think it's a four. We start in a 4-3-3.
Okay, the only reason I'm not suggesting a 4-4-2 is because it allows you to put two guys that may stay behind the ball while still allowing you two guys to go up the field. It
No,
to me it kind of helps defensively, but
hmm
you don't think that's a change that's likely to happen.
no. What I would love to see is like a 4-2-3-1 with Busquets and like Bright or Busquets and Redondo with Messi gone. Kremaski right behind, or Matias Rojas right behind Suarez or Campana. On the left mid, you have Taylor. On the right mid, you have Benja.
And that allows you to still be sound defensively,
It
and
gives you a double. It gives you a double pivot, and you drop into a 4-1-4-1.
it allows you to be a complete fucking menace up front
I mean,
and still be sound defensively.
it gives you numbers in the midfield, and it gives you width with Benja, with Taylor, and then Matias Rojas pulling the strings, finding his shot, and then Campana in front of him.
No, yeah, you can be an absolute menace in the offensive.
It's a variation of the 4-3-3. Just you're just playing instead of playing wingers, you're playing the wingers as wide mid, and then and then a double pivot with 2 6s or 8s or whatever.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to what we're in the same conceptual neighborhood.
Yeah,
Different numbers.
different variations, different things that I would. I mean, there's different things I would do with this team, but nonetheless, we couldn't really get anything right yesterday, so that's what mattered. And it sucked yesterday because Cincinnati ended up losing too.
Yeah, it would have allowed us to create some space. Um, in the 40th minute,
hmm
what a
Yeah,
fuck,
I
absolute
mean,
banger.
it was. I saw the play, and Busquets had a guy on him. He tried to play Messi in the midfield. They intercepted it, and they go against the run of play. And I can't pronounce his last name, so I'm not going to try it. Lobanice, or something like that. Absolutely scored a banger.
Love Janitze, yes, whatever. Saba.
Yeah, Saba, yeah, scored a banger. I mean,
He had
I feel
so
like
much
Drake.
space.
I feel like Drake Calendar gets scored on by bangers more than any keeper.
He, it's just he had so much space that he could. He did what he
No,
wanted
I
with.
know. Yeah, it was walking down the red carpet. Like
Yes,
the only thing a center back could have done was step right is literally step to him and make that tackle right then and there. But if they miss that tackle, guess what? He goes around them and they score either way.
right.
But it wasn't the first time that he had a shot. He had multiple shots in that first half, as did Atlanta, because we parted the Red Sea in the middle, and they were just walking through it like like nothing with no repercussions. You got to put some sort of defensive pressure in there.
Do you think that was a personnel thing, a formational thing?
Personnel, strictly personnel, with Redondo, Busquets, and Gressel. No one knew who to stay back. There were times that Gressel and Redondo were on the same side of the pitch. That was a personnel thing for me.
Okay. So, 40th minute, we go into the we go in down 1-0. When they scored that goal, in my head, the first thing I said was, "Okay, now Inter Miami is gonna decide to turn it on and play."
Yeah,
Come out in the second half, and what did we see?
the same thing, the same exact thing. I mean, I was hoping that someone would be in the middle of the pitch, but Thiago Almada literally parked himself in there and received the ball time after time and started counter after counter after counter.
Well,
Um,
you had said that you weren't able to use a phrase in a long time last show. You can use that phrase now.
Tacticless data.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, the tactics were not there, buddy. We missed out at the not the formation, but just the personnel in general, not making an adjustment. You
That's
know,
the thing with me. No second half adjustment is what killed me.
um, I think the game was calling for maybe David Ruiz to come in and play some sort of um, defensive minded role.
Thank you for tuning in, Skrilla. We said the same thing.
Yeah,
We heard all the clamoring for center backs in defense on X. We totally disagreed. Um, Mark had mentioned that he thought it was strictly a personnel problem in terms of uh, Busquets.
Redondo and Gressel just not playing that midfield together. There's too much open space. With Busquets like vacating space in the midfield to go higher up the pitch to break the second and third lines of opposing teams, someone's got to cover it. But at the same time, Redondo was up just as high as well. And Gressel, what's good? What Gressel does? What good is Gressel if he's staying back defensively? He's nothing. His best attribute is forward and playing and balls and whipping balls in. But yeah, the middle was open. It was a field day for Almada and for Moyamba.
Muyumba, I think.
Moyamba. He caused me nightmares. But I mean, yeah, that's as open as a middle I've seen against us in a long time.
And then we were talking about how it was just the same story, first half, second half, and then Saba s- scores again. I mean,
The second one, yeah, against the run of play again, not surprising. Jordi Alba maybe needs to step to the ball a little sooner, but the ball kind of deflected off his foot, and then Candler had no real chance to go get it. So at that point, it's 2-0, and then we're like, oh shit.
yeah, it looked like again. I thought after that first goal, we're like, okay, Inter Miami's gonna turn it on.
Mhm.
Uh, wasn't the case after that second one. My feeling was,
Yeah, another thing was we would get the ball to the top of the 18, and there'd be seven Inter Miami players in the same area. There was no runs in, like the runs in behind were not there. Like we tried to play 1-2 too many times. Busquets misplayed the ball, lost the ball a lot. Messi misplayed the ball a couple times too. Suarez did the same thing too. Taylor as well. Redondo as well. It was really a sloppy game in terms of that final third product for Inter Miami.
almost like they sleepwalked through that game. Like they seemed uninterested in terms
Yeah,
of
yeah. I don't want to
progressing.
downplay the opponent so much, but it was a team that they should have beat. Nonetheless, Atlanta came in and did us dirty. But not without Messi trying to get one back for us.
Right. When I saw that Messi scored and it was 2-1, I
Like,
said,
game on.
right, yeah. I'm
I
like
was like,
the
all right,
comeback is
yeah.
on the cards here.
You can sense a little urgency from the team.
And it's that
It was the
urgent
same thing.
that
It was the same thing. You got tired legs with Redondo and Gresso and Busquets, and then the defense in turn got tired because all they did was turn their heads and run back, so they were
yes,
exhausted. Jordi Alba did not have a great game. Um,
nobody did, frankly.
no one outside Messi really. Christoph to me played okay, um, but really no one really had a great game. Um, Yeah, the third goal was Thiago Almada running at our defense again and, made Aviles miss. And then after that, played the ball in and they squared the ball and a tap in for their center forward.
Yeah, then they scored the third one,
Mhm.
really deflated
Yeah,
any comeback hopes, any feeling, intuition that they might come back. Um, you know, you could have been three, should have been
could have
much
been
more than zero.
four, could have been, yeah. They could
So
have had 4 goals.
I played.
Yeah,
Yes,
I mean, yeah, I agree.
hundred
Um,
percent.
I agree. Um, you
We
know,
touched that Yannick wasn't available.
so, you have Kremaski and you have
Ruiz.
and David Ruiz to play in that midfield role. Yeah, and I agree 100% with the Gressel. Um, I
I'm
don't,
done. I'm done. I'm tired of it.
I really don't know what we're getting out of him anymore. Um, like you forget he's there because he's not really making a big impact, or he's
And
not
when he
really.
does, he's receiving the ball. His first touch is absolutely atrocious.
He's just slow with the ball. His best attribute is he can switch the play and he can put a good ball in. Awesome, but what good are you if you're in your own defensive half in the middle of the pitch, trying to replay a 1-2 ball with someone if you can't do it?
And
So,
there's something that I've noticed for a while now. Every game except for that first one, him and Cello, they're trying to do the same thing
mhm.
down that right side, and I feel like they get more in each other's way than they do play together.
I think Jello's trying to really just advance himself, and Gressel really doesn't know what to do if he doesn't have the ball.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like
So
they're
at that point, Gressel should need to stay back. But
I'm so frustrated.
I'm hoping once Diego Gomez is healthy, it's going to be a Gomez kind of Redondo, Busquets, Kremaski midfield starters.
Yeah, because I mean, Gomez is much more responsible.
Yeah, and
Uh,
he does a lot of the dirty work. He can go. He does things that I like.
yeah, no, agreed. And he was outside of Messi and Suarez or whatever. He was absolutely the MVP of this team. No, that is Skrilla. That is clear. I
Yeah.
don't know if Gressel spends some time on his knees in the bath. I don't know. I don't know. Does he
What
have
we don't
pictures
know
of
what
that? I
I
don't
don't.
know.
He's got some dirty work on him.
He must have pictures. He must have
He has
video
something.
or something because, like
To
I
me,
said,
I can't explain it. I don't know it. You know, I would bring Russell on in the 75th, 80th minute, kill off the game, put some pressure on the defense. With the ability of him going forward and stuff like that. That's where I would bring him in.
and when we had Scotty Grace, he said that a lot of us were going through Gressel fatigue,
Hmm.
and I agreed with that point. At this point, though, it's not. I'm just done. Forget fatigue. I'm done. Um, he just brings. So if you put Rojas instead of Gressel, you are exponentially better. There is nothing Gressel does that Rojas can't do.
Yeah. There's more that Rojas does that Gressel can't.
Right. That
Yeah.
you're exponentially better with Rojas. I don't know why he. And I'm not saying that he's a bad player. I just don't think he's a starter on
He's
this team.
not. It's that my biggest problem with him, and I kind of said it. Um, I tuned into Scotty's show yesterday before the game on the Drive Pink Dialogue, and I was made a comment. Um, that my thing with Grosso is I criticize him. I don't hate him. Yeah, listen,
No.
I criticize him because he's a two-time MLS champion, an MLS vet, and he's making elementary school mistakes. And yes, everyone makes mistakes. Even world-class players make mistakes. And I criticize a world-class player even more for making said mistake. So that excuse is nothing. So people try to blame the defense, but the midfield was so bad, so slow and tired, and don't cover the space. But Drake need to touch those outside box shots. I mean, yes and no. There are some shots that you can and can't really get to as a keeper. Um,
I feel like that first
shots
one,
shot
there was
stopping is
nothing you can do.
hard. I mean, the second one took a deflection. He was in no man's land. I mean, like if you're taking a no, if he doesn't take a deflection, I think that ball kind of ends up standing where he expecting it to go in the middle. But that the slightest deflection just takes it to the right of him, and you can't really change direction. On this, it's hard as a keeper to do so. Um, and against the runner play even harder because all you're seeing is pink shirts in front of you.
Now, listen, we all know how I feel about Calendar. We all know.
Hmm.
That is my guy.
He's a great shot stopper, but there are some shots you really cannot stop. It was the same one against Monterrey. That guy put it top bins. You're not touching it. I don't care who the heck you are. You're not touching that shot.
Right. No, you're right. But that's not to say that Drake doesn't have a lot to improve on.
No, of course not. But
But
yeah,
we
there
can't
are some
blame,
shots that
can't
he
blame
should
on
be
him
able to.
for
Yeah,
things he can't. He's got no shot getting to.
no, no.
Yeah.
Like
So I mean,
there are
you know
like
when
I've said it. The goal against New York City that he let in by his first post, he should have done 100% better. The one
yeah.
against DC United against Pedro Santos, nothing you can do about that.
Well, the first rule as a goalie, you
Is
don't
your
get
first
beat in
post.
the post. You
Yeah,
don't.
you don't.
That
So
is number one. So
the
is he
Monterrey goal,
blameless? No. But is he all of the blame? No.
no, but that yesterday's game was midfield um problems.
Yes. Do you know when the Copa America window starts? When we're supposed to lose these guys?
We lose Messi on Saturday after the game because they start their Copa America pre-camp Monday here in Miami, or
Okay.
up there in Fort Lauderdale, I should say.
Right. Okay. So we still have for this game coming up against St. Louis.
We
We
have these guys, yes, yes,
everybody.
yes,
Okay. So it's
yes, yes, yes.
after St. Louis that we lose everybody.
Hmm.
Okay. So we have St. Louis coming up on Saturday. It's the last game that we have everybody before we go into that.
Well,
Um,
we play St. Louis, and then we have a 2-week window where it's all those friendlies and pre-camp leading up to Copa America, and you got the June camp for the Olympics and stuff like that, or
so
June camp coming up.
the guys were slated to lose: Messi, Suarez, um, Kremaski.
But we don't
Um,
have any games from the first through the 15th. We don't have any games.
well,
I mean,
listen,
I don't have a problem with either or. I'm happy
no,
with either or.
and I
But
mentioned
if you
this to
want to
Mark the other day.
if you want to give Jordi Alba a break, I'm all for it.
And I said this to Mark the other day. Negri was playing so well that I forgot that um, Alba was hurt. Like there
Yeah,
wasn't a noticeable difference between Alba and Negri defensively. Now, Alba does things in terms of IQ and instinct that maybe Negri can't do in terms of vision and certain things, but Negri is not a few pegs below Alba. I feel like he may be a peg below. It's not this night and day difference between them. What are your thoughts, Mark?
I mean, I have no problem slating in Negri. I have no problem slating in Alba. They both pretty much play the same way. Um, you know me, I love Negri.
Yes,
I think he does a great job. And that's a luxury to have. Give fresh legs on, fresh legs off, and it's just all up to Tata on how he wants to play it.
yes. So St. Louis comes up.
Mhm,
Last season, they were the darlings of the league.
mhm,
Uh, what's it called? Oh my god, I lost the word. Expansion team
mhm,
coming in, brand new, took the league by storm.
mhm.
Uh, ended up being just
They have an ex-Miami guy on their team,
which guy is that?
Indiana Vasilov,
Oh yes, yes, yes,
super indie.
yes. What do you see? What do you expect from St. Louis aside from them adopting clog the middle?
I mean, this team is 3-7-4. I ex- I'm gonna give you my expectation for Miami first. Um, yes, this is true. Ecuador did not call Campana, which their roster came out today. So, um, realistically, we're losing. We're gonna for Copa America. I believe Skrilla's talking. Um,
Yes,
I don't know if there's enough game time for Paraguay to call Rojas.
Gomez. Oh, Rojas.
Rojas. Gomez, I don't think is ready to go. They're gonna save Gomez for the Olympics.
Right, if he's healthy.
I assume he would be. Um, Suarez is still, probably might get called just because of how informed he's been.
Well,
Um,
I was under the impression that
they
Uruguay
were,
had already told him that he was going to be
yeah.
called
So I guess I don't know. I know Cavani announced his retirement from
today, right?
international. Yes, so that might be Suarez going. Um, so for right now, the for sure one leaving, 100% is Messi for Copa
Right.
America. So if we're able to scrape through with just Messi and have the rest of the team, man, it'll be good. But going in,
I don't know about a five back. I think it's
but
more
up, a really pack it in
a
and sit
narrow a
tight.
narrow formation to really clog that middle, that midfield, where we
Some
do
yeah,
most of the damage.
some teams may. Let's see. Let's go back to Seattle's game. St. Louis, they lost yesterday to Seattle. They gave up 2 goals in 2 minutes in the 66th minute, and then in the 69th. Um, wow, they dominated. St. Louis dominated shots, 22-7, 5 on goal to 1 for Seattle. They play a 4-2-3-1 formation yesterday. That's with 2 double pivots, and their best player is Klaus. And they have Tim Parker, who's a good defender, and Indiana Vasilev,
I mean,
and Roman Berkey.
it's not a horrible formation.
It's not. I'm just really intrigued to see how we come out. I expect us to come out with fire between our legs, a spark between our ass cheeks, to say the least.
You
That
just completely mix those two things, those
I
two
yeah,
scenarios.
yeah, yeah. You know what I meant. A fire between. You know what I meant, man. Just come out lightning in a bottle.
Okay, thank you, because that was really
No, yeah, play on words there. Spark, fire, ass. All those things. We played like ass yesterday. We didn't light a fire. But hopefully this game against St. Louis, we come out and send off the 2 weeks with a good note.
and we need 3 points. Like
Yeah,
you said, we lost the opportunity to create a
to
little
take a
bit
lead. Yeah, yeah.
between us and Cincinnati.
Yep.
Um, and well, I mean,
Tata better. We're hoping he does, but we know Tata is, and he's a wild card. He's a joker. He's that Uno card that has nothing but a blank, and you choose whatever you want, and that's him. So I'm hoping it's a Busquets, Kremaski, Redondo type of midfield, maybe a little bright action. So that's what I hope.
I think we need to get back to basics. I think that that double pivot that was working so well early on, um, I think we need to get back to that. Um, that's
Yeah,
that's something
go
that
figure. The team that beat Cincy is Nashville.
that's who they lost to.
Yeah.
Look at them helping us out for a change, as opposed to being a thorn in our side. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, I mean, again, so it's a team we expect 3 points against. With this being the last game that Messi is with Inter Miami before going to Copa America, you expect him to want to leave in a good run of form. So hopefully 3 points, and then we'll talk about what the team is going to look like for that Copa America Olympic window. After that. But the only problem is that we do come to a tough set of games
Yeah.
in that window, so that it's going to require all hands on deck for us to maintain that pace with Cincinnati for us.
Yeah. The run of games that we have is the harder stretch, I would say.
Yeah,
Let's see. Philadelphia, Columbus, Nashville again. God, it feels like we play Nashville like 8 times a year.
yes,
Charlotte, Cincy, Toronto, Chicago, and then by that point, the 27th of July starts the Leagues Cup.
right.
Messi
We
should be
still have
back.
everyone back by then.
When? Yeah, we should get these guys back by then.
Hopefully they're not too banged up or
If Messi goes to Copa America, um, the most he can miss if they make the finals like 7. The
okay.
long
So yes,
the
it's going
long
to
days
be
of
a long
summer.
June for Inter fans, but it's gonna feel like heaven if you're also a soccer fan,
Hmm.
because we have Copa America soccer and then Olympic soccer. And the Summer Olympics usually take
The
a lot
young
of your
guys.
mind just because there's so many
Oh,
events.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I love watching Summer Olympics.
Yes, it's interesting. So it's going to be a very packed summer.
What
Um,
you mentioned Copa America,
yeah, Copa America, the Olympics, uh,
Euros, the Euros,
the Euros, right? It's just
the
and
summer
then
of soccer,
this time next year you're gonna have
World Cup qualifying
but on top of that you have the Club World Cup too.
in
That's
2025.
gonna
You're
hit.
right.
And
I
that's
don't
something I
want it.
wanted to ask you. With the
I,
club, I saw a graphic that the
I don't
Club
want.
World Cup was almost full.
I don't want Inter Miami playing in it.
That was going to be the question. The USA MLS gets one team to
I
represent.
don't want it. No, no, no,
You
no, no.
don't
Let
get to
someone else. Let Kevin De Bruyne and Haaland and Phil Foden score 20 goals on some other MLS team that's not us, please. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, let me ask you this.
uh-huh.
I was talking to one of my friends, and this is something we agreed on. The gap between the highest division in our Sunday league here in Kendall and the gap with the MLS is smaller than the gap between the MLS and the Prem.
Well, yes, that is
That is, I mean, yeah, we're gonna have to win games without Messi if you want to compete. It's true.
the
It's true.
addition of Matias Rojas helps a ton though.
And yeah, and the ability to trust guys like Campana and Taylor.
Yes.
I need to check Colombia's roster.
But back
And
to
see
your
if,
point. Back to your
mhm.
point.
Tell me.
The best Sunday league.
No, 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 no. I just spoke with my friend who, because it's the league that we play in,
Okay.
that they have 3 divisions. The highest division in that is almost like kind of amateur soccer. That gap between those teams or the talent there is the gap between that and the MLS is smaller than the gap between the MLS and the Prem. Because
Are we
here's the thing.
talking about relegation, Prem?
No.
Or are we
Those
talking about
teams,
top three?
those, I don't. Luton Town, Burnley, and Sheffield United would probably beat an average. Would beat an MLS team 4-0, 4-1, 3-1, 3-0.
Okay, so let me ask you this:
It's just the physicality and the
you
absolute
take
animals that play in that league.
you take the three relegation teams,
Hmm.
pop them into the MLS.
They're the
One of
top
them
three
wins
teams.
the MLS hands
Top,
down.
yeah. Burnley probably wins that league. I would say Burnley wins it hands down. Vincent Company with Lucas Colesho,
Who just
Colekosho.
Vincent just got the Bayern job.
Yes, yes, we know. But put him on that with that. I think Burnley can win this in the MLS. They just have. I mean, it's just night and day. Like even I would even take a championship team to win the MLS.
Leeds comes down and wins.
Oh yeah, Somerville, Ruter, Ampadu, Archie Gray. Oh yeah, it's just the physicality, the technical ability, the aggression. They're just dominant guys in that league.
You know what? We'll. That's an interesting fact. We'll put it out on Twitter. Let's see what. We'll follow us on X. We'll tag a few guys and see if we can get a consensus as to what others think about um, that very question, because that's it's a good. At first, I thought it was an asinine question and just what the hell are you talking about?
But then I dove into detail with you.
And now
I
you
mean,
have me confused. And now you
think
have me
about it.
confused.
Think about it. Who Leeds got relegated last year? Leeds just lost the playoff final to Southampton to go back to the Prem. They were one
Mhm.
of the top three teams in the championship. Those guys are on that team. They're being looked at by multiple, and that's not that by multiple teams. Like Liverpool is supposed to be looking at Somerville. You don't think Somerville is absolutely gonna dog Chelo Wigan?
I think Cello gives him an elbow to the face before he gets dogged.
You think Chelo is actually gonna touch that guy before he gets close to him?
Oh, he's gonna try.
He's gonna try. Yeah, and Somerville's gonna give him a body feint one way, and Chelo's gonna slide into Tata's lap. Yeah. Uh-huh.
So much faith.
I mean, he's gotten better though. I like Chelo. I like him. I like him. I can't complain about him. He's done a pretty good job on that right side.
Yeah, definitely an improvement over
And,
yet.
and and if you thought Calendar was facing shots with, the midfield not being there and the defense just backtracking, imagine these guys.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, could you imagine? I don't know what's Adebayo is the center forward for Luton Town, some absolute massive human being, big, strong striker. And they also have Ross Barkley. You don't think Ross Barkley become like one of the best players in the MLS as soon as he steps on the pitch? Sandy Lokonga, another guy.
All right, I need you to stop giving me reasons to be conflicted, though.
Okay, here's a better one. Nottingham Forest with our boy Gio Reyna. Gio Reyna steps on the pitch on the MLS. He's probably like top 10 player,
I don't even think that. I think
top
he would be
five,
a top five. Yeah,
top five. Yeah, look at Ricky Puig, and I think Gio Reyna is just about the same technical ability as Ricky Puig, but I think Gio Reyna is a little better creator, actually, way better creator.
all right. Well, we'll put it out on X.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll
This is a talk for another day.
yes, 100%. And we're gonna go out and get expert opinions. Um, guys, thanks for watching. Well, we'll definitely talk next week about um what we expect. We Next week we'll break down a game and we'll definitely break down some Copa America. Change it up a little bit since we're going into that window in that break. We'll talk a little U.S. men's national team as well. Mark, where can they find you?
Right there. Mark G 1110.
Follow us down. I mean, it
Mm-mm,
doesn't let me,
mm-mm.
but down in the scroll in the ticker, you see all of our information. You can find me there at Paramount P on X. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next week. Have a great one, guys.